Salve, discipuli. Alright, we're going to take a look at lesson 48 grammar. There's one, or I guess you could say 1.5 new concepts in lesson 48 grammar. But you don't really have to learn any new forms for them, so that's nice. What we get in lesson 48 is what's called a result clause. Okay, these are the type of clauses that are structured like this. It is so cold out that I have to wear a coat. Okay, it's so cold that the result is I have to wear a coat. Pretty boring example. There are a whole lot of jokes on this theme, right? You can probably think of some yourself. Maybe you'll have an opportunity to share one or two in class. I don't know, but that's a result clause, right? That war was so long that both nations got really tired of fighting. Whatever. There's a result. So what does this look like in Latin? There's going to be a main verb. Okay, that's pretty obvious. There are going to be two different clauses, of course. After your main verb, or I should say, in the same clause as your main verb, there's going to be a signal word, like tam, ita, sic, tot, talis, tantus, aum. You might be thinking, I don't know what those words mean. Guess what? They're all new vocabulary for lesson 48. I think every last one of them. Tam means so. Ita basically means so. Sic can mean thus or so. Tot means so many. Talis means of such a quality. And tantus means of such great quality or such great amount. Okay, so they all have this idea of so or such in it, which leads to a result. After that, you're going to have an ut or an ut known. Notice ne is not technically an option for these. It's ut or ut known. And then, I bet you all can guess what's coming next. We've seen it a lot lately. A subjunctive verb. Okay, so main clause, signal word, ut or ut known, subjunctive verb. Let's see this in action. Here is our first example. Equus tam celeriter corret, ut eam in silva amiterem. So, hopefully we all quickly recognize two main verbs. Alright, perhaps we even recognize amitera plus an ending is an imperfect subjunctive. Okay, we've got two verbs. We know we've got two clauses. Just going to separate like that. We have equus as a nominative over here. We have eam as an accusative over here, which is actually going to be referring back to the equus. So, what do we have? Oh, I should add. We have a signal word right here, tam. Okay, this is a word that signals a result clause. The horse ran swiftly. Really, it's the horse ran so swiftly. Alright, and you're wondering how swiftly. The horse ran so swiftly that I lost it in the forest. Okay, it being the horse. The horse ran so swiftly that I lost it in the forest. The result was I lost it in the forest. Okay, that's a result clause. Number 2, we have two main verbs again, erant and possumus. We have an infinitive in vincere. I know it's an infinitive because of that re ending. All right, that's pretty reliable. We have milites in the nominative. We have exercitum in the accusative. I need to divide clauses. Okay, I'm going to divide at the ut again. So that's kind of been consistent for us, right, for quite some time. You see an ut, it's very often going to start a new clause. I'm looking for a signal word because I know we're talking about result clauses. There's your signal word, tot, which means so many. So, there were so many soldiers, and naturally you're thinking, how many? Okay, there were so many soldiers that, notice the must, that we were not able to conquer the army. Okay, so obviously the army has so many soldiers that we were not able to defeat them. Alright, that's your result. Okay, let's look at another example. Main verbs, est, and then timeant. Okay, there's a present subjunctive here. Notice the we beat a liar, friar vowels. Divide our clause at ut yet again. We're going to have a nominative of bellum. This is a neuter word. Tantum is also nominative, modifying bellum. We have omnes in the nominative and Romani in the nominative. All right, third declension, second declension, but they go together, both nominative, masculine, plural. So, if this is a result clause, we're expecting a signal word, and your signal word right here is tantum, which is also an adjective modifying bellum. Okay? So, the war against Hannibal is so great, you're wondering how great is it? So great that all the Romans are afraid. Okay, there's your result clause. Subjunctive verb, ut, signal word, main verb. Okay? Now, there's one other little twist on this concept here. There's what's called a substantive clause of result. I'm not going to require you to memorize this term. It's not that big of a deal. I just want you to see how this works. Okay? There are certain clauses that are technically result clauses that follow verbs like this. Affecit, accidit, necessa est. Affecit means brought about, okay, or caused. Accidit, I'll bet you guys can figure this out. Think of an English word that this looks like. All right, like accident. This word simply means it happens. Okay, so brought about, it happens. Necessa est, I'll bet you guys can figure this out too. Est, it is necessa. It is necessary. Okay, these can lead to what are called substantive clauses of result. What do I mean by that? You can say something like, he brought it about that there was a test the next day. It happens that it is raining outside. It is necessary that we sleep at night. So those are all clauses of result. These will have an ut or an ut known. Okay, so they're going to have one of these verbs, an ut or an ut known, and then, drum roll, that's right, a subjunctive verb. Okay, let's see one of these in action. Affecit ut discipuli essent laeti. So we have one of these new verbs we just talked about. We have an ut, we have essent, which is a subjunctive. We're going to divide clauses here like always. Okay, we end up with discipuli and laeti in the nominative. So, he brought it about that the students were happy. Another way you could express this is simply, he made the students happy. He brought it about that the students were happy. He made the students happy. Okay? Here's another one of these. You get est as your main verb. You get karamis as a subjunctive. We're going to divide the clause at ut again. All right? Necessa est. It is necessary that we run, notice the must, that we run much more swiftly. Okay, it's necessary, and the result is that we run much more swiftly. Number 6 doesn't exist. So there you go. 5 sentences, 2 of them with that noun clause result, and then the other 3 with a regular result clause. All right, if you've taken good notes, you should be in good shape for whatever is coming when we meet next. Valeta, discipuli.